Hey everybody, so today we're going to head up to the cabin. We're going to get the deck built for the outhouse and we're going to start stacking logs. We are doing the dovetail notch in the corners of some 6x8 timbers that we're going to mill. Before we can leave, I got my jig measurements emailed to me, so we're going to build the jigs before we get out of here. And we just got back from the Yukon River late last night. We went on a pike fishing trip. And while we were running up the river, the distributor gear on the boat, the roll pin that holds that gear on, sheared off. Luckily I had a distributor under the seat of the boat, and we were able to get back up and going, but the boat does not like that distributor, so we're going to also have to fix that before we get out of here. So we were supposed to be gone a while ago. We're going to try to get an early start, but we're delayed a little bit. So for my jigs, I ordered the plans from Fred at logdovetailjigs.com. What you do is you just tell them what size your timbers are going to be and what size gap you want to have between the logs. We're going to go with a 1/2 inch gap, which will leave some room for some insulation. We'll do a small bead of permachink when we're done. He sends you detailed instructions on how to build the jigs, and then he gives you the measurements that you need for your different angles that you're going to have in the boards here, or cut your different angles for your cuts. Getting a late start today. It's 8 o'clock. We're hoping to be up there around 2-ish. We ended up building the jigs and working on the boat for a couple hours. The jigs for the dovetail notches, but we're gonna get up there. Here we are removing the tundra and roots down to good dirt. Then we'll haul gravel in and fill in the holes. This will be the foundation for the railroad tie pads. We haul gravel from a gravel bar about a quarter mile downriver from our cabin.
Don't cover the muffler, it'll burn your pants.
Are you sure it's unlocked? Hold it back like this.
While Jake and the kids were hauling gravel for the foundation pads, I was milling some beams for under the outhouse on my sawmill. This is Miranda hauling me some trees. I built these log dogs a few years ago. It was a design I found online. They work great because they clamp onto the bottom 1 inch of the tree and hold it in place. Bigger ones we're going to cut down to 6x8. Jake, Aaron, Wesley, and Wyatt are filling our holes in with gravel, hauling it from the gravel bar down there below our cabin. So we did that whole cabin is sitting on gravel foundations just like this, little gravel pads.
Needs to go down?
Yeah, you got to go down, Jake.
Okay.
That's plenty good. Close enough. Here you can see I used 2-foot railroad ties for the bottom of the pad because it's in contact with the ground. Then I cut some timbers on the sawmill for the rest of the pads. I'm using old scaffold jack feet as my leveling jacks. That's why we are drilling this hole. Okay, slide it. Foam in.
been sitting there all time.
Here, I am milling the boards that we'll be using for the outhouse deck.
Messed it up again. Really?
That one should be 20 smaller, right?
Yeah, both sides.
Oh, Jesus. I need to straighten that. Oh, so what we do to keep the mice and squirrels out of the insulation is we put these little strips underneath. Then we rip plywood to fit inside. And then if we were going to put insulation in there, we drop our insulation in. But what we're going to do, we have some leftover white foam, we're going to drop that down in. So, putting like a 1/4 inch gap on the logs out here, or on the deck boards out here. On the deck boards inside the outhouse and the sauna, they will be uptight. All these boards were left over from the deck on our little cabin. When we demoed that, the 2x8s were still good, so we kept them for this. Well, this is what we got done yesterday. Got some of the deck boards milled. Got the foundation built. Got the OSB laid in there, that's what the foam will sit on. Today we gotta cut this foam, it's gonna make a big mess. Get it in there. I'm going to continue milling 6x8s. And hopefully we can stack a few logs before we gotta go. We're going home today, so I'm not sure how far we'll get. We are trying to thin the trees near the cabins in case of a forest fire. So these are the trees we'll be running through the sawmill. Well, that's what we ended up with. One of our 6x8s for the outhouse. And then I think I cut 3 1x8s, which Miranda's thrown under the deck. That'll be the, that's what we're putting on the interior walls. So where I can get 1x's, we cut them. Or when I could get 1x's, we cut them. Go slow when you guys get over the sawmill. Here you can see it takes Jake and Aaron to carry one side of this timber.
She's tick.
The boys spend the majority of the day dragging trees and hauling branches off. Go over? Oh, dude.
A lot thinner. What do you mean go off? Already there? Or
How much of an overhang you got down there?
1.5 inches, 2 inches.
Wow.
Cool, huh?
That was 14.7?
14.7.
Bring a knife over.
No, it didn't. What was our measurement? 130.
133 and 3/4.
It should be about 8 3/8.
8.
It's got to go past. Okay. So that should be to the line.
Yep. So that's the line right there.
So here you can see me struggling to get my saw to cut. I have 2 rip chains sitting on the bench at home that I forgot to grab. We cut our dovetail notches in 5 timbers so that I could see how my gap looked on my second row, and it was off by 1 inch. It should have been a 1/2 inch gap, and it was 1.5 inches. When I got home, I remeasured everything on the jigs and all was good. When I came up a week later, I brought my rip chains and my cuts were more precise, and this closed the gap. That's because it was rolled. So this is the gap I'm talking about. It's 1.5 inches and should only be a 1/2 inch. So we decided to call it a day, just in time, because as we got all loaded up in the boat, a huge rainstorm hit us. Well, haven't got in the boat. This is the perfect timing. It's coming down.